Join me as I paint these roosters, hens, and their chicks using watercolors. We will use a simple trick that allows us to effortlessly create these birds in various positions and directions. Using medium value of yellow ochre, I paint the rooster's body in the shape of a triangle with curved edges. The bottom curve is slightly wide, as you can see in the video. To create the head and neck of the rooster, I start by painting a narrow elevated mountain shape. Then I gradually shape it to naturally connect with the body, as you can see in the video. I'm adding the rooster's wing on the left while the right wing stays tucked in so it's invisible. Now I'll paint the comb and wattle with crimson lake while the head part is still wet for a natural blend. To prevent it from spreading too much, use thick consistency of crimson lake. Next, I'm mixing permanent orange with little indigo and painting near the rooster's neck. Next, using the stippling technique, I dab the same pigment onto the breast area of the rooster. After that, I use indigo and add it to the middle of the body and just above the legs to bring out the shape of the rooster. I'm also using indigo to define the wings, making them to stand out. After that, I'm using indigo to paint the eye. Then I mixed a small amount of permanent orange with yellow ochre to paint the beak and legs of the rooster. Using a thick consistency of indigo pigment, I'm adding the rooster's tail. I should have waited for the legs to dry completely, but I started painting the shadow while they were still wet. When the leg part is completely dry, next wet the area below the feet and apply the indigo pigment. Make sure there are no hard edges. If you find any hard edges, use a damp brush to soften them. And that's it. We have finished painting the rooster. Next, using a light value of indigo, I paint a triangle shaped form with curved edges, with the bottom edge being broadly curved. Then I add a mountain like shape on the right side of the top of the triangle and blend it into the body to form the head and neck, same as we did for the rooster. Finally, I add soft tail to complete the structure of the hen. Using thick consistency of crimson lake, I added the comb and wattle, which are much smaller than those of the rooster. Then I applied a light value of crimson lake between the tail and the body and also on the areas just above the leg using the stippling technique. Using the mix of yellow ochre with a small amount of permanent orange, I paint the hen's beak and legs. That's it, we have finished painting a cute hen. Now to paint another rooster looking sideways, I mix crimson lake with permanent orange and a small amount of indigo to create a pinkish brown hue for the rooster. I use the same trick of painting a triangle with curved edges and with a widely curved bottom edge as we did before. Then I add a mountain-like structure at the top right for the head and neck, and at the bottom I'm slightly extending for the legs. Next I mixed a small amount of permanent orange with yellow ochre to paint the tail. And then I added indigo to complete the tail. Using the same indigo, I added the wings because the rooster is looking sideways, and I use indigo to add texture to the rooster's body using the stippling technique. I forgot to shape the connection between the neck and body, so I adjusted it. And then I added the comb, wattle, beak, and legs. And just like that, we have completed another rooster. Next, we are going to paint a hen using a D shape, capital letter D. I'm using a mix of permanent orange and indigo to create a brown hue, which is used to paint the hen. This D shape method is special to me because in another video, I painted 3 hens using this technique over last year, and that video got over 200,000 views. And I truly appreciate all your support for that. This is a little nostalgic moment for me. If you haven't seen that video yet, I will add the link in description. Feel free to check it out. Using a light value of indigo, once again I paint a triangle-like shape with curved edges, with the bottom part being broadly curved. This follows the same steps we used earlier for the rooster and the white hen. Then I add a mountain-like form on the right side at the top of the triangle, and I shape it to make connection between the neck and the body of the hen. After that, using crimson lake, I add the comb and wattle of the hen. Using a light value of yellow ochre, I paint near the neck and the area just above the legs. Then using a mix of yellow ochre with small amount of permanent orange, I add the beak and legs of the hen. After painting the roosters and hens, the next step is to add shadows beneath them. First, I wet the area under their feet. Then, using a light value of indigo, I apply the pigment to the wet area, making sure there are no hard edges. If any hard edges appear, I soften them with a damp brush by gently stroking over them. So, to save your time, I speed up the part of the video since it's the same repetitive step for all the birds. Next, I paint an egg using a light value of indigo. Once the egg is completed, I add a shadow beneath it to ground it in this scene. Next, using a mix of yellow ochre with a small amount of permanent orange, I paint the chicks. I use permanent orange for their beak and feet, and also I added cast shadow using light value of indigo. Using a dark value of indigo, I painted their eyes. Hope you enjoyed watching this painting process. See you in another video. Until then, take care and bye bye from Prema.